Hello everyone. Today I am going to talk about the certain technical details of this bangle. It's a bead crochet bangle with an invisible join, and the video for this, the making of video or the tutorial for this, I've already uploaded in the playlist. You can check out the video there. In this video I'm going to be talking about the other technical details of this, like the size of beads that I have used and what length of beads that I had to put on to make this bangle, and what is the final size, and how do we change the size if we need to. So all those details will be covered in this episode or in this tutorial. Okay, now see this one. First I want to tell you what is the what are the beads that I have used here. So in this I have used a size 8 bead. So let us note that down. Okay, so here I have size 8 seed beads in 3 different colors because I need them for the pattern. And then the thread is cotton thread. It is size 20 mercerized cotton, and the needle size is 1.3 mm. Size 8 beads, that is seed beads. And I have used 3 different colors. So in the technical details we do not have to bother about the pattern or the colors. So we are only have to concentrate on what size of beads we used and what is the final length of the rope that we made, and how, and after attaching it to make it into a bangle, what is the final size. You have to be only bothered about the size of the beads and not the color or the pattern in which we are making this bangle. Okay, for if you want to make this bangle, the video is already there. I'll put a link up in that. So beginning now, this crochet rope, or first it was a rope and then I joined it to make it into a bangle. So this one is a 6 bead. Okay, so the circumference, that means the circumference means the number of beads per row. So this, in this one there are 6 beads in each row, and I aimed for getting 7 inches of this rope first. See, because this bangle is first made as is made like a rope, and then I join it. Okay, so it will be made see, it will be made into a rope like this, and after that I will join them together to make it into a circle. Okay, so with that information, so like I was telling you, I want a 7-inch rope. You have to measure your rope and check like this. Okay, so 7-inch rope. To get a 7-inch rope, I first need to know how many beads, or what is the length of the beads that I need to add on to get a 7-inch rope. Okay, so that calculation is done like this. So you take the circumference, which is 6, and multiply it by the length of the rope that we want. So we need a 7-inch rope. So multiply it by 7, and when you multiply you will get 42 inches. Okay, so 42 inches means when you add the beads onto the thread, the length of all the beads that you have added should equal to 42 inches. So now take a look at the picture to show you the meaning of what I am telling. So take a tape measure and measure only the bead part of your of whatever beads that you have strung onto the thread. So starting at one end, just go down to 40 until you reach 42. And then in this I have strung on more than what is required, but we will need to stop at 42 inches. Okay, so now you know that that I need to add 42 inches. So what we do is we start adding the beads according to the pattern. So say if it is a single color, there is no problem, you just keep adding, and then when you reach 42 inches of the beads alone, then you will stop adding the beads and start making the rope. But if it is a pattern, okay, for every pattern there is something called as a repeat. Okay, a repeat means in our pattern 23 beads make up one repeat. There will be a section, there will be a pattern, and in that pattern there will be certain number of beads added. Okay, see for instance A bead, B bead, C bead. So how many beads you have to add for the pattern, etc., will already be given in the pattern list. Look like this is the repeat for our pattern. So in that pattern, see this one complete pattern is called as a repeat. So this could be equal to any number of beads. This could be equal to, say, it could be equal to 20 beads, or it could be equal to, each repeat could be equal to 30, or any number it can be. So now in order to achieve 42 inches of the pattern, you have to do the repeat. That is, for this is one repeat means, so 20 is one repeat. Then again you have to do the repeat of this pattern. Again you have to do the repeat of this pattern. You have to keep on repeating the pattern until you reach 42 inches. Okay, but and what one thing you should remember is, when you reach 42 inches you may not sometimes completely be done with the repeat. So you could stop, when you measure, say supposing after you have added 15 beads in this, if you have added 15 repeat beads in this, after adding several inches, of course, the last set of repeat, when you by the time you add 15 beads, if you reach 42 inches, you are not going to stop at 15, but you will complete the full repetition. Okay, so even if you have added 15 beads only, and you have already reached 42 inches of beads that are on the thread, but you will not stop there. You will only stop after reaching 20, or in another case, if it is 30 beads per repeat, so you will complete the repeat before you stop putting on the beads. That is because whenever you make an invisible join bangle, the repetitions must be complete, only then you will be able to join it invisibly. Otherwise your pattern will not join perfectly like this. So there will be some disturbance in the pattern, so you should not do that. So that is one thing you should remember. Maybe I can explain this in more detail as we go in the next episode. I will show you what is the meaning of more detail about the repetition. Now the next thing that we know is, after adding all the beads for 42 inches and a little more beads to complete the repetition or whatever, if you, after completing it, then you start crocheting it. And when you crochet, when you complete all the beads that you have added, you will measure it and see. Take a look at the picture here. So when you measure all the you measure the total length of the bead crochet rope that you have made, it will be equal to 7 inches. Okay, so once you get a 7-inch rope, say you got 7-inch rope now here, what should we do is, now this 7-inch rope has to be now turned into a circle. Okay, we have to join it. So we have to join it now like this. So after joining, I want to show you what is the final length. So remember, we made a 7-inch rope. Okay, now this is the 7-inch which I have joined and made it into a circle or into a bangle. I want to show you what is the size that I have achieved after making this. So let me take a tape here. Okay, and I'm just going to put it around this just to show you what is the outer circumference. Okay, approximately this will be just approximately. So outer circumference, I can say, is about 8.5 inches, or even less, a little lesser than 8.5 inches, or you can even call it 8 also. So the outer circumference is 8 inches. So that does not mean anyone who needs that size of a bracelet, they'll be able to able to wear this. No, because the inner circumference is different from the outer circumference. See, the inner circumference will be much more smaller because the rope is thicker, you see. So see, there is this distance which will be lost when you measure the inner circle. So when you measure the inner circle, it could be around, say, about 6 or 6.5 inches only. Okay, so let me write that down also. So the outer circumference was 8.5 inches and the inner circumference is 6.5 inches. So you see, there is a difference of 2 inches actually, but but this is not what we lose in this is not the point, but when you measure it inside is what I'm trying to tell you. And I also want to show you what is the bangle size. See, let me start at 2 and see the distance from the inside distance, from here to here is about 2 inches. Okay, so in this, what I want to explain to you was, that is, if I use size 8 beads and I make a 7-inch rope and I turn that into a bangle, this is the size that I have got. Okay, now this could vary a little bit from person to person, because depending on the size of the thread that you're using, or the way the crochet is worked. Some people do it very tight, some people a little loose. So depending on that, this can change. So this measurements can change, but what I have made is what I am showing you here. So based on this, you can make your calculations, or if you are going to be making it commercially for sale, you could make some samples and keep them to understand how many what size beads and how many inches of rope you make in order to make it into a bangle. So these are rough estimates of what I have made, but I am sharing this with you just to give an understanding of how things work. And also please remember that this numbers, that is the outer circumference and the inner circumference numbers, can change depending on the person who is making the bead crochet rope. Sometimes it can be tight and sometimes it can be loose. So these are the details I wanted to share. And I also want to tell you that who can wear this bangle. So finally, which size wrist will fit this bangle. So for that also I will show you my wrist size. Okay, let me take off my watch and show you. So if I go around my wrist, a tight fit around my wrist will be, say, about, see, kind of tight fit around my wrist is 7 inches. Okay, and let me see if this bangle fits me. Because this bangle because you are just going to be rolling it onto your hands, and also because there is a little give in the crochet rope itself, and now this one fits me just enough. It's not like a bangle, it's like a bracelet, it just sits enough. But if you want something more where there is a little more space and it's hanging on your hand, you have to make it a little more bigger, And if you're going to be using a clasp, of course we have the choice of starting and stopping where we need. But if you're going to be making an invisible joint bangle, so I would actually not be very happy with this size. I would want at least another half an inch more. So for that, I think instead of making a 7-inch rope, I would make say a 7.5 or a 8-inch rope, so that this there will be a little give. So though I can fit it on my wrist, it's a little, it's just stuck on the wrist. There is no movement as such. So if I want a little more movement, I have to make it a little more looser, and for that I will have to increase the length of this one. So instead of making a 7-inch rope, I'll have to be making something bigger than that. So again, for that I will be multiplying the circumference. So if I'm going to make an 8-inch rope, I will be multiplying it by 8. So 6 times 8 is 48. Okay, so first I'll be adding on beads for 48 inches of of the I'll be adding for 48 inches of thread. I mean, the beads that I add onto the thread will be equal to 48 inches, and then maybe I will get a little more looser bangle than this. As you see, it rolls onto my hand, but it's a little bit tight fit. So that is what I was trying to explain. I hope my explanation was a little clear. In future episodes, I will be again working with different size beads. So this is size 8 beads. I will be working with size 11 beads also, and I'll tell you what are the results that I achieve by making these calculations. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like my bead crochet tutorials, please also do take a look at all the other tutorials which are in this playlist, and please leave your comments if any. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time.